what the hell's in there. But it's weird and pissed off, whatever it is.
Bennings, go get Childs.
We've been trained to think that we're invincible by an enemy we considered inferior.
Today's video is going to be dark, and there's no way around it. Because we're going to be talking about why you wouldn't survive John Carpenter's The Thing. Let me start off by saying, out of all the fictional species or creatures or aliens to come to the Earth, The Thing is the absolute worst, and I will show you why at the end of the video. But we're going to start with one of the characters, Blair. Blair is a senior biologist, part of the crew of this U.S. outpost. It's what he saw, said, and did that will set the tone for our gruesome scenario of The Thing starting its invasion of the Earth. First of all, what did he see? He saw in that simulation that it would take just 3 years for all life to be consumed, assimilated, carbon copied by The Thing. That is it. 3 years. Fuchs is another character. He said from Blair's notes, Fuchs is assistant biologist.
So I took one of his notebooks from the lab. Yeah. Listen. It could have imitated 1 million life forms on 1 million planets. Could change into any one of them at any time. Now it wants life forms on Earth.
It's getting cold in here, Fuchs, and I haven't slept in
Wait a
2
minute,
days.
Mac, wait a minute. It needs to be alone and in close proximity with the life form to be absorbed. The chameleon strikes in the dark.
So is Blair cracking up or what?
Damn it, McCready, there is still cellular activity in these burned remains. They're not dead yet.
You see, The Thing could have already assumed millions of life forms. And it isn't a typical predator or invader. It is an ambush predator. It waits for the right opportunity, waiting to isolate its prey alone. This is, I cannot express, this is the most dangerous scenario. There isn't going to be an alien walking around with some sort of fancy weapon that's firing off into the sky or some grand battlefield. If The Thing ever got to any place where any significant life is, it wins. There is no going around it. And there is no stopping it. That's what Blair says in his rant.
Childs, go see if he got to the tractor.
Nobody gets in and out of here. Nobody! We're all making 1,000 miles to the coast. No, you don't understand. That thing wanted to be ours. Still gets out. Devastate everything on the face of the earth.
What did he see, and what does that mean? Well, what he saw, he calculated that man will have 0 chance of survival if The Thing ever got off that glacier. Let's say The Thing did make it off, which it will. What happens? How does it begin? And how you won't survive The Thing's invasion. The Earth is 71% water. All The Thing has to do is make it to any body of water. Lake, river, ocean. And then it will start. It will start consuming all life in the seas and the ocean. What are we talking about? Well, if the thing makes it to the ocean, it will start to consume and assimilate fish. How many fish are we talking about? We're talking about 3 trillion fish. We're talking about just fish in the ocean. And it will start consuming every one of them and replicating them. So we're talking about 3 trillion fish, and they consume other life forms. Dolphins, whales, crabs, shrimp. All ocean life will be the thing. Everything in the ocean will be the thing. Just that alone should spark immense fear in this scenario. Everything in the ocean that was alive will now be the thing. What will happen next? Will the thing instantly go to towns or cities? No, that's not how the thing works.
It needs to be alone and in close proximity with the life form to be absorbed. The chameleon strikes in the dark.
It says it is patient. It waits to ambush its prey. It's not going to attack the humans. It doesn't have to. Humans are the last thing it's worried about. It knows that if it consumes all life on Earth, there is nothing humans can do. So where does it begin? Next, it heads to land. But it doesn't head to towns or cities. What does it start to consume next? Well, it starts to consume all insects on the Earth. Ants, fleas, flies, mosquitoes. The smallest thing to the largest thing. Larvae, worms, all of them start to be consumed and replicated by the thing. How many insects are we talking about here? Well, the Smithsonian says, are you ready for this number? 10 quintillion insects on the Earth. That's right, 10 quintillion. I said it right. Insects on the Earth. That will be the army of the thing. All insects, just alone. We're not talking about mammals or anything like, just insects will be part of the thing. Flies, mosquitoes, all of them will be the thing. After it consumes that large quantity of insects, pretending to be bugs, what will happen next? It will assimilate birds. Birds are natural, the next target, because birds feed on mostly bugs. So what will be the number we're talking about with the birds? Well, here's what the National Geographic says. Well, according to the estimation of National Geographic, there are 200 to 400 billion birds on the planet, all being consumed and assimilated by the thing. What will happen next? It will start to consume rodents, rats, 1.5 billion rats. It will start to consume. What will happen next? Then after that, after it has all life in the ocean, after it has 10 quintillion insects at its beck and call, after it has 400 billion birds assimilated, it will then move to what it considers the last threat, man. How will this consumption of man begin? Will it happen in some sort of glorious fireball? The thing doesn't work like that, and it doesn't have to, because it's already winning. It will start to consume the most primitive and isolated villages of humans. They will be easy targets. What will be next? Will it be towns or cities? Yes. But will it be, again, some sort of invasion that you could see coming from the hills? Absolutely not. There's no rush with the thing. The thing doesn't have to rush. It already knows it has the upper hand. It will slowly pick off the weak, the handicapped, the elderly, children, the sick. And after that, it will start to consume the healthy. There will be absolutely nowhere for any person on the planet to hide. Nowhere. Every fish, every bird, every bug will be the thing. From the smallest flea to a giant whale. And if a human does manage to survive somehow, what kind of life will they have to live? With everything, the thing. Back to what Blair said.
Still gets out. Devastate everything on the face of the earth.
Blair said that if just one cell got out, it would be the end. Let me put it in perspective. One drop of blood, the size of a pinhead, contains 5 million blood cells. Remember what Blair said, one cell. One drop of blood, the size of a pinhead, has 5 million blood cells. Now you can understand Blair's reaction. His madness, even though it was temporary and controlled, it makes sense. And it's kind of reasonable. Because he saw that it only takes a microscopic, invisible cell to be the end of all life on Earth. He knew that no one would survive the thing if the tiniest, unseen part of it got to a place where life was. No one will survive the thing. What could you do against 10 quintillion insects? What could you do against an ocean that is full of countless trillions of life forms that are now the thing? What could you do against 400 billion birds? How could somebody stop a little mosquito from biting you and turning you? A flea from biting you and turning you? A fly? A bird from pecking on you? A roach from crawling on your food and laying a little defecation in it so that when you eat it, you change. All it takes is just one cell. I told you this video was going to be dark because the thing scenario is one of the worst. And we talked about only the insects and natural part of it. We didn't talk about how the thing can start by consuming high officials, people in power. The thing wouldn't have to play that game until the very last because it will consume all easy parts first. All life forms that wouldn't fight back and would be easily enveloped. That's why nature will be its first victim. And then once nature, the whole earth is under its control, what can a person do against that kind of force? Absolutely nothing. How you wouldn't survive John Carpenter's The Thing's Earth arrival. So what do you think, guys? It's kind of dark. what would you do and how would you act? Do you think you can survive? And what ideas do you think you could do to make it the longest, to live the longest, to not be consumed by a dust mite? Let me know below, and I'll read your comments with most interest.